And we are live now. Okay, we are live recording. Once again, good morning, everyone. So we are just continuing today with what we did a couple of days ago in our Matariki Street Market workbook. Okay, just to recap a couple of things, we started on page 5, where it talks about selecting a suitable location. Okay, I mentioned that from the beginning I wanted to put my location as the War Memorial Park in Roscoe since I live like next door from it. Okay. And because I want to involve my community in this work. Okay. I was actually supposed to write more information about it. I will at some stage. Okay. The deadline is on Monday, so I still have time, just like you guys. Hey Faith. Hello. Good morning. Glad you could join us. Um, so yeah, I have here a screenshot of the location in the map, a picture of proper event taking place on my location. All right. I'm gonna add a few more pictures and some extra written information. Of course, I'll polish up everything before delivering. Moving on page 6, this is a very important page because it's our target audience page. So I went into mindmaster.com and I made my own mind map for the audience that I want to target with this. Okay. And once I complete all of this, I write down here a brief conclusion of it and I select some keywords to represent my target audience. Okay. The links for the mind map are on the chat from yesterday. But remember, it's mindmeister.com. Okay, it's free. You do have to create an account. The website is going to offer you some stuff to buy. You don't have to buy anything. Just, create your mind map, take a screenshot, and you're set. That's easy as. Okay, and then on page 7, we did our mood board for the target audience. Okay, again, some of the keywords that we got from the previous um, page, and then a collection of images that represent my target audience. All right. So Mount Roscoe, okay, the Mount Roscoe area, family that likes outdoors and sports like rugby, families around the area of the War Memorial Park, families that like barbecue on the weekends, that like go to Dominion Road, like outdoor activities. Ideally as well, again, since this park is like the home of the Central City Baseball Club, I'm targeting them as well and the community around them. And of course, hungry and like barbecue, as I mentioned over here. Okay. All right. So in here, you can actually just like put like a huge brainstorm in this part. Okay. Um, but since I already knew what I wanted to do, I just like input my information over here. So Aiden, your question with the mood board, do you have to worry about copyright? Not really for this one because you are collecting a selection of images for reference. You are not inputting like copyrighted images on your own final work for presentation. Okay, this is part of the development, so in this case, it's fine. But once you reach the concept development pages here, where you do your thumbnails, where you do your stuff, then it's not good. Then please don't. Okay, unless it's images that they have no copyright attribution from Google. All right, but ideally, you should just stick to creating your own stuff. Okay. I had a question from Nina yesterday. She asked about getting a picture of a woman or a family, if I'm not mistaken, but then doing plenty of modifications to turn that into a silhouette. That would classify as transformative work because there's a lot of modifications being done around the original piece. Okay, to the point that is, I don't want to say like unrecognizable, but there's a lot of stuff being done to it. Okay, if you want to get like a picture of someone in a specific pose, and then you cut it out, bring to Photoshop, and make it black to make like a silhouette, that is fine. That should be okay because there's enough work to classify as transformative. All right, all right. Let me just go back down. Where were we? Oh, yes, over here. So here's for you to brainstorm. What other kinds of stuff do you want to do for your assignment? You know that you have to do the A3 portrait poster, has to be printed. If you don't have a printer at home, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. And just make sure you create your poster in A3 using Photoshop or whatever you have available. If you are doing everything by hand, I know some of you guys are doing everything by hand. Some of the afternoon students are doing everything by hand as well. That's fine. Please work your stuff by hand. There's nothing wrong about it. Okay. We need to work with what we have available. All right. I have to mention as well that I raised a survey on our general channel about access to Adobe softwares, and I only got like 8 answers, and there's 14 students in the class. I need to know how many of you have it, how many of you don't have access to Adobe software, so we can figure out what to do next. Okay. So you please answer the surveys in the general channel so I can actually get this data and pass it on to my superior so we can see what we can do about it. Okay. Um, right. Next one I have here, a water bottle and a goodie bag. Okay. I wrote here that I will be doing those two with Dimension. Okay. And I will show you guys later on how to do it with Dimension. Okay. What I'll do is I will do my concepts, and then I'm going to stop the recording, and then I will do another one to show you Dimension as like a separate video. Okay. Right. In the next page here, we need a mind map for our design direction. Okay. So 4 things that you can talk about when you're brainstorming or mind mapping about your design direction: color, typefaces, visual elements, and then elements and principles. Okay, visual elements could be also visual assets. Okay, so I'm talking here about sky-related visual. Okay, so like the stars, the moon, the clouds, native New Zealand birds, Maori iconography such as Kowhaiwhai, Koru, the twist, Hemato. All right. Elements and principles I want to work with: contrast, alignment, and hierarchy. Those are like my main ones that I want to work with. Okay. And this typefaces here will basically guide me through the next one, which is here. Okay, actually this one and this one, okay, because here we talk about colors as well. All right. So on the next 2 pages, like pages 10 and 11, we basically need to translate visually what we wrote here. Okay. So I mentioned shades of red and cool colors. So I have 3 sets of palettes here to work with. Okay, those two here look pretty much the same. I can't read properly because it's way too low res, but I believe they're actually the same color. That's odd, but anyway. And then here on page 11, we do some experimentation with type. What you can do for this one, you go into datfont.com, select the style of font that you want, and type in Matariki Street Market on the bar to simulate the fonts. It looks for some fonts that you find interesting, and then put them in your design. Sorry, in your process. Screenshot and bring it in. Sounds good. And then the final page before we move. Oh no, not the final page. Haha. But anyway, for hierarchy, I made like 3 small thumbnails per se to play around with hierarchy. Okay. I know that this first ones, I have the title on the top, then I have my art, and then 2 columns for text. And then I kind of inverted the art and the title over here. And here I made pretty much everything an entire, covering the entire page with my art. And then I had the title on the top and information at the bottom in 2 separate columns. I think this is the one that I'm going with because I don't know, it just looks better. It's more like pleasing to the eye. So I think I'm gonna work with that. And then a mood board with a collection of pretty much all the other things that you did in the previous pages. Okay. And then the keywords for your visual guide on your for your visual guidance per se. Right. Right. So once you do all of that, you're good to move on into concept development, right? Sketch your ideas in concept experiments and develop your ideas into a variety of concept options. Here is where you go when you do your thumbnails for each piece that you have to deliver. So I would say in the page 14 where it says concept development number 1, you do here the thumbnails for your poster. In here you do the thumbnails for your second delivery, and here you do the thumbnails for your third delivery. Okay. And then in final concept, you do your developed concepts. Okay. You get your thumbnails, are developed, and then you put like the developed version of each one of them in here. Go for the feedback. get the official feedback, and do the final ones in the presentation page after you adjust to feedback and adjust to technical requirements and all of that. Okay? So let's see how to translate this into this, right? I have my drawing tablet here with me. It's a very old Wacom Bamboo, but it still gets the job done. Please bear in mind, one more time, I'm terrible drawing. What you guys are about to see is a poor attempt of trying to draw stuff, and yeah, there you go. Terrible. So I think I'm just doing Photoshop just to be safe. If that's the case, let me switch the screens. Give me a second. Give me a second while I open Photoshop. In the meantime, please prove to me that you are alive. Can you please tell me in the chat how cold are you this morning? And please answer with gifts. How cold are you feeling this morning? You can only answer with gifts. Ron Swenson. Oh boy. Of course, someone had to quote Frozen in this. Of course. Would you believe if I tell you that I never ever watched Frozen? I never watched Frozen. I never played Minecraft. Every time I say this, I feel just older and older. Who played? Yo Lennox, you answer with like Ron Swenson. Um, is anyone here familiar with the YouTube channel Binging with Babish? You should. It's great. He just released today an episode on another Parks and Rec episode. Oh yeah, it's good that you guys go. It's good that you guys know it because in my previous class, no one knew about him. But anyway, people only liked like that Guy Fieri dude. But nah, man, like binging with Babish is like is the bomb. Anyway, he just released today an episode of the four horse meals of the apocalypse. It's like a massive, and I mean massive, breakfast played by Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec. It's huge, but it's mouth-watering, and it's also like very good to blow up your vascular system. Anyway, so we're here now in Photoshop. Can everyone see Photoshop on my screen? Yeah. Now let's think about numbers a little bit. I know it's not a good thing thinking about numbers, but anyway. So we're working on a free page here, right? And I want to spread 3 thumbnails in here, okay? So to make sure they all fit and they keep a good resolution, I'm going to make my thumbnails in Photoshop as A5 size and portrait, because come on, the poster is portrait. And by doing A5, I can keep the same aspect ratio for the poster, all right? So in Photoshop, I'm just going to create some A5 There you go, a blank A5 page. Please note, I'm doing my thumbnails over here as a matter of demonstration. You're more than welcome to do it on paper. You're more than welcome to do it in CorelDRAW on, I don't know, Microsoft Paint. Oh, yes, the poster is A3, okay? But since I'm only doing the thumbnails, all right, and to make sure they fit on the A3 page of the workbook without losing any quality, I'm doing A5 so I can put like one A5 page over here, one A5 page here, and another A5 page here. Okay, just to keep things organized. But yes, the poster is A3. Okay. The thing is, when I work with a A5 piece of paper, I have the same aspect ratio as I would have in a A4 or A3 paper. Okay. So that way I don't have to change my hierarchy. I don't have to change the alignment of my elements. Okay. I can just like keep going with them for my thumbnails. Okay. And then translate them into like the full design. All right. So on my mood board, I know I have this kind of colors and I have these fonts. Okay. I need to download the font actually. So let me just quickly go and grab them. Or I can just use a placeholder font as well. So for my placeholder font, I'm getting a similar one. If Photoshop works without crashing, please Photoshop, don't do this to me. All right, there we go. There you go, impact. A relatively neutral bold font. Yeah, I'm gonna do like one at the top. And then just to keep things simple, where's this? I'm going to do just like a here. I'm gonna make sure it's red. Oh boy. Why is this not working? Just give me a second. Okay, this is not the flag of Japan, okay? This is like a placeholder for a koru, okay? I better write right over here, like make it white. Just a placeholder, okay? And background, I want to do gradient for the sky. Now, gradients in Photoshop, you have a couple ways of doing it. If you go here in your paint bucket, you have a gradient tool, and the gradient will be based on the two colors you have selected on your color boxes, okay? So since I'm gonna do like the sky, I'm going to get, oh, gee. Oh, Photoshop, please don't. Okay, why are you over there? Come here. So I'm going to get like, kind of like a dark, but not so dark. Oh, there you go, this is nice. And then on the other side, I'm going to get like another shade of blue, but like not that. There you go, like that is fine. And then all you have to do is click where you want the gradient to start. If you hold shift, of course, it goes on a straight line. And bada bing, bada boom, you have a gradient. Okay. In here, you can change the type of gradient that you create, but then you have to kind of like redo it. Oh, that looks great. And you can change the blending modes of it over here. You can reverse your gradient. Okay. But I would recommend that the best thing to do is if you just get your paint bucket and drop a solid color on your layer, then you go and you double click the layer to open your layer styles. Okay. You have one option here to go and do a gradient overlay. Okay, I think this is the best one because it gives you more control of what you want to do. Okay. Um, you have some styles of gradients. Okay, you have linear, radial, angle, reflected, and diamond. Diamond's terrible. Please don't ever use the diamond gradient. Um, yeah, you can't see over here because of this, but anyway, let me go and get the colors. So to change the colors, you have to click on the gradient bar over here, and then those tiny squares on the corner, these are your colors, okay? So this one will be this one, and the other one will be the other shade of blue that I selected. Hit OK, boom. This is the diamond one. It's terrible, you know. It goes to the center, it looks like a cross. It's not good. It's not good. Okay, so let's change that and make sure that we're working with like a linear gradient. You can click here to reverse the gradient. Okay, the darker on the top. I like that one better. Okay, and let's hit OK. Someone's got a microphone on. Aiden, your mic is on. Oh, Gavin joined us. Hey, Gavin. How's it going? Okay, anyway, I can hear like an interference in the sound. Oh boy. Anyway, another thing that is nice for you to have a look at here in Photoshop is like how to create like stars. I mean, we're all working with Matariki. Most of us should be planning to work with stars. So let me just get rid of. I'm not gonna get rid of this. I'm just going to like put that in a group. Then I'm gonna hide it. Cool. So now stars. You can get the marquee tool, make it ellipse. Make sure you're working with white. Okay. So for the marquee tool, you go get the white, make a circle. Okay. And create a new layer for this. Right. Get a circle, and then you go back to the marquee, and then you get the rectangular marquee tool. Okay. Once you have that, if you just go into another marquee, you're going to erase the previous one. So in order to combine the selections, all you have to do is you hold shift. When you do that, you can see you have a very small plus sign close to your marquee marker. And then when you do that, okay, no, that's not centralized. Let's say around here. There you go, like a bar going across like this. And then another one going across like this. Okay, so then you have it, and then you go get your brush. Make sure you're working with your regular soft round brush. Make sure it's white. Okay, she's like this big. No, that's way too. So it's one here. There you go. Okay, I know it's not looking that good, but don't worry, it's gonna look. It's actually better than this. So just bear with me, all right? Press M to unmake your selection, undo your selection, all right? Get your marquee, do a circle around it from the center. If you hold Alt and Shift, you can actually just like roughly get it right. You can make sure you're always working on the same layer. Get your brush, make sure it's slightly bigger than the marquee that you did, and that your marquee is selected for the inverse. Get your brush, make sure it goes all the way around it. Okay, slightly off, and then just click like this to create this like halo effect around it. Okay. And then over here where you see this little drop is a blur tool. Click and hold to open the smudge tool. Okay, with the smudge tool, you just make your brush slightly bigger, and then hold shift and click and drag to kind of spread those, not like this. Spread the corners, make sure there's like no hard edges. make sure it's small enough. And then all you have to do at the end is go to your filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then just blur it a little. A little bit more. Let's see around that. Yeah. And there you have it, a tiny, tiny star for your Matariki poster. Okay, so let me bring back my kudu. I know I have a star here, and then I want to have like some other stars on like scattered around. Yep. And then down here I have my 2 blocks of text. So lorem ipsum, yeah. And then here as well. And I just gotta make sure that this is centered. So where's my alignment tools? Over here. Gotta make sure that I have this selected. No, that's not it. Turn on my rulers and then just this the center. There we go. Now it's central. Now wait. There we go. Now it's centralized. Good. So there you go, like one thumbnail, just quick one to begin with. And I know that this is the type of hierarchy that I want. Okay. The colors from my research, some of the elements that I wrote about. Okay. So let me just like save this. Save to my desktop so I can just say thumb1. And save that as a JPEG. And then, yep, hit OK. Go back to InDesign. Oh no, wrong software. Go back to InDesign. Paste your work. A5. It's still a little bit big, but that's fine. You can just like bring it down a little bit. And then you can have like one thumbnail here, another one here, and then another one here. Okay. There you go. And then here I write down my pros and cons, my overall comment, you know. Just basically do like a quick self-evaluation on your work. Okay. I'll show the other two over in dimension. Okay. For the final concept, here's where you put your final works before feedback. Then you get your general feedback and then your official feedback. How does your official feedback works? First of all, you fill in the blanks over here. So project name, that's the Matariki Street Market. Today is the 19th. 20. And then who are you giving feedback to? Okay, let's say I'm giving feedback to Angelo. Okay. From Daniel. All right, the important thing for the marking schedule for you to pass on this page is for you to give feedback to someone. Okay. If everyone gives feedback with the pairings that I've made randomly and I posted in the general channel for you guys, then everyone will get feedback. Okay, it's simple as that. Can you please confirm that you saw the pairings for the feedback? Can you please just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you've seen that? If you didn't, I'll show you like right now, like where I put that. There we go. So it's on yesterday's attendance topic. Okay, here's everyone. Okay, these are all the pairings. All good. Right. So how does the feedback work? You need to evaluate 4 things: the concepts, the target audience, the final piece, final art, and how appropriate it is. Okay, and then it could be a matter of revisiting the work. Oh, it's good, or it's actually really good. That is actually strong. Okay, and then what's not working that good, and then what's working good. Okay, so let's say I'm reviewing Angelo's work, and his work is actually pretty great. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'll go get my text box. I'm making like a huge X, like so. I'm gonna make sure there's like a big X. And I'm going to make it like red just to, yeah, there we go. So his work is actually like really, really good. So I would say his concept is actually really great. All right. That it fits the target audience, but he could do something better. Okay. Um, that the final piece of work is actually really good, but he needs to revisit appropriateness because, for example, there is some references to alcohol in the poster. That's not appropriate for the target audience because it's targeting mainly like young adults and like teenagers. Just an example. Okay. So over here, okay, we basically just list what's working, what's not working, and then from what's not working, how that could be fixed or improved. Okay. Please have in mind, none of the works that we are going to create here will be perfect. Everything is subject to improvement. Everything can be improved, always. Okay, we should always be looking towards improving our work and improving ourselves. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you will find something to write over here. Okay, you'll most likely see someone with the work being it's so good, it's like knocked out of the park, but still there will be something that you will find, and you will want that person to change. Okay, so all you have to do here for the graph is mark an X where you think it kind of meets the part. So for the target audience, it's a good target audience. So you mark the X in here. The concept is strong, so you mark it in here, so on and so forth. And then you write down over here what's good and what's not good about it, and so on. All right. Okay. And the self-reflection, that's for yourself to think about. Okay. Please have in mind you have to complete both. All right. No good. And on page 21 is where you put your final post feedback versions of your work. Okay. Any questions so far? What you can do for the feedback, Faith, is you can go on a call with your feedback pair and share your screen and show what you have. Okay. You need to talk about the target audience that you chose and your process so you can understand what your pair was working on, okay, and how they were thinking the process through. All right, so that way you can give them proper feedback. Okay, so you need to sit down, have a chat, communicate, interact, show each other your work. Very important. Otherwise, how the hell are you going to do some feedback? Um, oh, I forgot to check something. But yeah, you need to check each other's work and talk about your process so you can properly feedback their work. Okay. Okay, I will stop this recording and then I'm going to begin a new one for to show you guys Adobe Dimension.